new Berkshire Hathaway, CEO Greg Abel is already different from Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett sat on $373 billion and didn't spend a single dollar buying back his own stock. Then Greg Abel took over on January 1st, 2026, and within 63 days, Berkshire was back in the market buying its own shares. On March 4th, Berkshire repurchased the equivalent of 309 Class A shares, worth roughly $226 million. The first buyback since May of 2024, and Abel didn't stop there. He took his entire after-tax compensation for the year, $15.3 million, and put every dollar of it into Berkshire stock personally. When he appeared on CNBC's Squawk Box the next morning, he explained the logic plainly. As long as our intrinsic value exceeds the market value, again conservatively determined, we'll continue to repurchase. The language was vintage Berkshire. The action underneath it was something new. Buffett had not authorized a single repurchase in his final 6 quarters as CEO. He did not believe the stock was cheap enough to justify it, even as that cash pile grew to a record $373 billion by year-end 2025. Abel has reached a different conclusion, at a higher share price than the one Buffett passed on. That is the actual story here. Abel is not simply restarting a dormant program. He is making a valuation call that puts him on a different page than the man who defined this company for 6 decades. The buybacks are only the first data point. On his first business day as CEO, January 2nd, Berkshire closed a $9.7 billion acquisition of Occidental Petroleum's chemical unit, Oxychem, a deal originally announced under Buffett. Then in late March, Abel deployed $1.8 billion into Japanese insurer Tokio Marine, pairing an equity stake with a reinsurance agreement that ties the two companies' underwriting and investment operations together. Then came the move that has no real Buffett precedent. Berkshire joined a U.S. government-backed insurance syndicate providing coverage for commercial ships transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Roughly 20% of global oil supply moves through that waterway. Iran has threatened vessels with drones, missiles, and naval mines. The United Nations has reported approximately 2,000 ships stacked up on either side of the strait waiting for clearance. The U.S. International Development Finance Corporation expanded the program to $40 billion in total coverage, with Berkshire joining AIG, Travelers, Liberty Mutual, and Chubb as underwriters. Buffett spent decades telling shareholders there were certain risks Berkshire would not take, risks that were difficult to quantify, risks that could produce catastrophic outcomes. Warzone Marine Insurance is about as far from that framework as you can get. Abel has told reporters he still consults with Buffett, checking in nearly every day. So none of this is a break from Buffett in the sense of defiance. It is a recalibration, one the founder is aware of, even if it reflects instincts that are not entirely his own. For shareholders, context matters. 2025 net income came in at $67 billion, down from $89 billion the year prior. Analysts are projecting earnings to decline by roughly 5% annually over the next 3 years. Abel is deploying capital aggressively into that headwind. He may be right. He may be buying Berkshire at a discount, catching a window Buffett was too cautious to take. Or he may be the first CEO in the company's history to learn what happens when you start spending the war chest before the next crisis arrives. 3 months in, the evidence is already clear. The new Berkshire Hathaway is not the old one. If this video helped you think differently about money itself, please hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications tab. I'm a former stock and bond broker with over 15 years of experience. I worked for 2 top-tier investment banks on the West Coast before I retired, and I spent my career inside the very financial system we've been discussing today. This channel provides rare insight and background on capital markets, the stuff you learn from working on the inside. If you like this video, you may like this next one in the top left corner.